Alrighty guys, Andy here. Since it's so crowded in my small little cabin here, I have to make a spot over by the kitchen where I'm going to show you the items that I found on my scavenger hunt the other day for Urban Garbage Survival Kit via Arctic Creative Redundancy. We're going to unpack the items or sort through them, and I'll explain my thoughts on why I picked them up and the reason that I picked up these items and my uses for them. So let's take you guys over there and we will go through the items that I found and the ones that you didn't see on camera already. Okay, the first item you seen me find was this grocery bag. It's not good for much of anything for carrying because it's full of holes, but you could use this as cordage to tie something up. If you had other plastic and stuff, you could maybe use this to cover over a hole that was in your other plastic. I mean, there's a couple of uses for that. I mean, flame extender in the fire, help get your fire going. So let's get to the cordage that I found. Now I found all this. This is a piece of Romex wiring sheathing. It's the outer plastic coating. I wouldn't trust it for too much strength, not compared to any of this other stuff, but that's a fair amount of cordage to find just walking 3 miles. And I also found this plastic strapping. This is plastic strap for like strapping stuff down on a skid or whatnot, and it's just been ran over by cars, and there's a lot of cordage there. You can definitely get a lot of cordage out of that, and that's very, very strong. That piece was originally only probably, I would guess, about 10 feet long at most, but you definitely get a lot more than 10 feet of cordage out of that if you split it up. So that's another very good find. I found these 3 rags. I found this one, I found this one, and this one. I mean, they could be used for hygiene, for toilet paper, like I said. You could also rip these up and make cordage out of them. I mean, if you've got 3 rags and you can wash one out, you can use one to clean your body and wipe your backside, and use the other 2 for cordage. Now for containers. I found this bottle, which, I mean, really isn't of a whole lot of use, but it is a bottle, it is a container, and it's also plastic. It's also a flame extender. You could also use that for helping light a fire. I found a 5-hour energy drink bottle, which is extremely useful. It's got a cap. I mean, you can use it to carry small items. Got to be rinsed out. It's still got 5-hour energy drink in it. Now the aluminum containers I found a lot of aluminum containers. I found other ones that I didn't pick up. That Mountain Dew can I didn't pick up. I have a Pepsi can here. Now these have a lot of uses. I mean, you could use part of an aluminum can as a knife, even to clean a fish, whatever, because aluminum this thin is very sharp. You can also use it for solar reflector if you polish this, like the video I've just done recently. I'm also going to try to make an alcohol stove out of these. I've got kind of an idea I'm thinking about, and I'm going to see if I can make an alcohol stove of a different style. So some of these cans I'm gonna play with. I'm gonna just throw them away. I'm gonna play with them, and got a little V8 can there. Red Bull, Pepsi, 3 beer cans. Also got the beer bottle. Now this here isn't just a container. I could break this bottle and have a cutting tool. I could also, a lot of people don't know this, I could fill this bottle up with water to about 1 inch from the top, and then you hold it and come down and slap with your hand really hard, and you'll pop the bottom out of the bottle. So I could find a way to plug this, cut a stick, fit it in there, and I'd still have a container this way. And then you can take this bottom of the bottle and flint knap that and make an arrowhead. So that bottle's got multiple uses for me. And then I found a necklace bead, I guess. I'm guessing it's a necklace. You can tie it on. Those beads would work really good for fishing. I'm sure there's going to be especially with the smaller ones down here, I'm sure there's going to be a fish that might be interested in biting a bright red bead. I found this metal ring. I don't know what I would do with it, but it's a metal ring. It's not quite a full ring, but I'm sure you could bend it into one. It almost looks like it's brass, but I don't think it would be because it's been run over on the road so many times. Yeah, it's got to be like a spring steel, but still, it's a metal ring. I mean, you could use that. Would work really good for a tripod. Stick your 3 sticks up in there and spread your tripod out. It would hold them together, as long as it wasn't a huge tripod, as long as all 3 sticks will stick through there. So you could use that for a tripod ring. Another thing I found a bungee cord, no hooks, but it's still a bungee cord. I mean, you could make a slingshot out of it. You could use it for cordage, but yeah, it would probably be, more useful for a slingshot or something like that. Cut it in half here, attach these ends to your slingshot, and use these ends here to make your nest in for whatever you're shooting. I don't know, it might work. I don't know, them are kind of thick there, but use your imagination. I mean, it's a piece of rubber. If nothing else, you could use it for a signal fire. It'd make lots of black smoke if you burn it. And I found these 2 water bottles. One's still got water in it. Piece of paper. Can't quite tell what it is. Looks like a piece of a napkin or something. No, some kind of a label. But still, 2 containers. This one has a cap. I found this piece of lead. I could just break a piece off, take a sharp rock and baton through it with another rock, break a piece off, flatten it out a little bit, fold it over my fishing line. I've got fishing weight. I could take a piece, probably make 2 or 3 out of this, cut a piece off the same way with a sharp rock and batoning through it, and then take that piece and just pound around on it on a rock, turn it into a ball, as much of a ball as I can. Be excellent slingshot ammo. There's definite uses for a piece of lead. And last but not least is this Mentos can. It's a plastic container. It would be almost, I wouldn't trust it to submerge it, but it would definitely be waterproof. If you got rained on or whatever in your backpack. It's fairly big, but not too big. It's smaller than a beer can. You can see, just barely smaller. But it's a waterproof container. And you can put your small items in there, just like the 5-hour energy drink bottle, but this you can put your bigger small items in and keep things organized. It's a very good find right there. And last but not least is this 1-gallon jug. This 1-gallon jug is a major find. I mean, I can carry a gallon of water in there, since it's had, peak windshield de-icer, windshield washer fluid in it. I would definitely want to rinse it out a few times, but that is a very good find. I mean, I got a cap, 1-gallon jug. I mean, speaks for itself. I mean, if worse comes to worse, you can cut it off and wash your clothes in it. You can't beat a find like that. That's a very good find. And there was a lot more stuff that I found on my walk that I didn't pick up. My arms were getting full. My pockets were full. So that's in 3 miles, a mile and a half down and a mile and a half back. There's the items I found and what I would use them for. Okay, these 2 items are the pieces of steel that I found. This one here I think would make a really nice frog gig. You'd have to do some work in here. You'd have to do some filing or something like that. But I do always carry my flint and steel, and my flint are a bunch of rocks in my pocket, and my steel is a piece of file that I carry with me all the time. So you could possibly file this into a frog gig. I've tried both of these pieces as flint and steel, and neither one is high carbon steel enough to strike a spark. But this piece here, I mean, I could easily make that into a knife. I'm not sure what it was. I was hoping it was a piece of banding, but it has a very significant shape right here. It actually gets larger here on this end, and it does down here too. This was a part to something. Yeah, that even does that on this end. It gets larger there and there. So, I mean, it's almost like a bone shape, just minutely on the ends there. Larger here, larger here. I don't know what it was, but I could definitely sharpen that up on a rock and use that for a cutting tool, turn it into a knife. And when it's long enough that I could actually, you know, tie a handle onto it. Wouldn't be a superior knife, but I could definitely sharpen that up and make a knife out of it. And I could definitely do some work on that and turn it into a frog gig, or even maybe to spear fish. Yeah, for sure. A little bit of work. You got a couple of nice pieces of steel there. Frog gig, knife. Yep, that'll work. Alrighty guys, I forgot a couple of items that I picked up. One was the roll of duct tape, and I already packed that up somewhere in a box. Not sure where I put it right offhand, so I figure as long as I mention it in the video. And I couldn't believe that find. I mean, to find a partial roll of duct tape on the side of the road, camouflage duct tape at that, that's just unreal. And then you guys seen in the video, I seen this piece of wire. Even though I said my hands were full, I picked it up anyway, because this here, I mean, it's not just cordage, but this is strong enough that you could wrap it around, twist it up a few times, and make a snare to snare a squirrel, a rabbit, a coon, who knows what. It's strong wire. You can definitely make a snare out of that. And the last thing I picked up was this. I mean, this is 3 feet long this way. Yeah, 3 feet long the other way. That's folded in half. It's a good 3 foot by 3 foot piece of foam. You could use it for cover. You could use it for a sleeping pad to keep you dry, somewhat insulated from the ground. I would want to maybe pile some pine needle duff underneath, or leaves to help separate me from the ground, and then put this down to help keep me dry from moisture coming up from the ground, and also help insulate. But you could also fold this up. I just folded it up in quarters, and it's almost a foot, so it's got to be like 4 foot by 4 foot maybe. Maybe fold it in thirds, maybe even in quarters, and you could wrap this around you. You could wrap it around your chest like that to help hold in your core body temperature. I mean, 3-4 layers just around your core, from your waist to your shoulders. 3 or 4 layers wrapped around you. That's, you know, excellent insulation. I mean, you can hold it over your head in a rainstorm. It's 4 foot by 4 foot. You could definitely, you know, spread it out and use it for a rain poncho, basically. While you're walking, you can hold it up and just, you know, if it's windy, you're going to want to make sure you hold onto the corners and hold it out, but it would definitely keep you dry. This is a closed cell foam, which means it's not going to absorb water. And yeah, it's a very good find for something like that. That's 4x4. You can put that over for a shelter. You know, you find a trash bag, plastic bag like I found, which wasn't much good, but you can use it for covering holes that are in this plastic or whatever other plastic that you find. So just a couple things I wanted to add to this video because I forgot to put them in the video.